My sincere greetings to each and every one of you listening again as I continue to give what I believe is the most important talk that I've ever given. I will speak about the damages done by vaccines such as the H1N1. Dr. Andrew Molden has great insights as to how vaccines render unknown damages to our health. As I stated earlier, but it bears repeating, Dr. Andrew Molden said, vaccinations are causing impaired blood flow, otherwise known as ischemia, chronic illness, disease, and death for us all. He states, all vaccines are causing immediate and delayed, acute and chronic, waxing and waning impairments to blood flow throughout the brain and the body. This is causing us all to become chronically ill, sick, and causing brain damages along a continuum of chronically silent to death. This is causing ischemic strokes. In some respects, this is also aging. Since the damages are microscopic, we cannot see them occur. However, we can see the neurological aftermath of these damages within hours and days of vaccination, all vaccinations. If you go to www.brainguardmd.com, you will see this in evidence. Dr. Molden goes on to explain that MAS is an acronym for many chronic diseases that impair blood flow. It's taken from Molden Anoxia Spectrum Syndromes. He also states, one-size-fits-all global vaccination schemes have created mass disorders on a mass scale. This article by Dr. Andrew Molden is a must-read for anyone who wants an excellent explanation of the terrible damage done by vaccinations. Another doctor who makes an excellent case against immunizations is Dr. Richard Moskowitz in his article titled, The Case Against Immunization. Dr. Moskowitz, in his explanations on how vaccines work, give us a great insight into how vaccinations cheat the body and the immune system in the fact that the injected virus bypasses the normal port of entry and is introduced directly into the blood. He states, and I find this so important, in contrast, when the artificially attenuated measles virus is injected directly into the blood, it bypasses the normal port of entry, producing at most a brief, mild inflammatory reaction at the injection site, but no incubation period, no local sensitization, no real possibility of eliminating it via the same route, and no generalized immune response to prime the immune system in the future. Indeed, by cheating the body in this fashion, we've accomplished precisely what the evolution of the immune system seems to have been designed to prevent. We've introduced the virus directly into the blood and given it free, immediate access to the major immune organs without any obvious way of getting rid of it. This explains clearly the reason for the fatality of vaccinations to our health and our very life. Dr. Moskowitz echoes Dr. Tom Jefferson's request for placebo-controlled studies on the effectiveness of flu vaccines. He states, what would be a far more interesting and relevant measurement would be the degree to which a vaccine protects against the acute disease when it actually does break out, which could be readily ascertained by looking at its attack rate and severity among those fully or partially immunized, as compared with their unvaccinated friends and neighbors. Although saying nothing about the possibility of immunosuppression, such a study would at least give a truer measure of the vaccine's power to do what its proponents want them to do. However, requests from doctors such as Dr. Tom Jefferson and Richard Moskowitz for placebo-controlled studies are falling on deaf ears for fear that the truth about vaccines will come out. This is why each of us must do our part to let the world know about the big lies that I've been talking about, so that innocent people will no longer perish for lack of knowledge. Pass this knowledge that I've just shared with you, with your friends, your family, your neighbors, in order to save them from the scourge of the sickness and death caused by vaccinations. Based on what we know so far about Big Pharma, the WHO, and their associates, we can be sure that their goal is mandatory vaccinations throughout the world. However, if at this point you've already been vaccinated, do not despair. There is help available.